Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the Terran Defense Station Arcturus, her weathered face reflecting off the reinforced glass as she watched the approaching alien vessel. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared her for this moment. The ship, if you could call the crystalline structure that seemed to bend space around it a ship, had appeared at the edge of Saturn's rings 3 days ago. "Admiral, they're broadcasting again," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his communication station. "Same frequency, same message pattern." Chen nodded, her silver-streaked black hair catching the starlight. "Put it through." The message that filled the command center was neither audio nor video, but rather a stream of mathematical equations that somehow conveyed meaning directly to the human mind. The translation team had worked out its essence. Earth was being offered for sale. Not conquered, not invaded. Sold. "Get me Director Hayes," Chen ordered, her voice steady despite the fury building in her chest. "And patch in General Santos from Luna Base." The holographic displays flickered to life, showing the tired faces of Earth's hastily assembled crisis team. Director Alexandra Hayes, head of the newly formed Sinological Relations Department, looked like she hadn't slept in days. General Santos' dark eyes carried the weight of commanding humanity's largest off-world military installation. "They've made contact again," Chen began without preamble. "Same message. We're being treated as property to be transferred between owners. The arrogance is breathtaking." Hayes leaned forward, her hands clasped. "What they don't realize is that we've been preparing for something like this for decades. Project Prometheus." "Ready," Santos confirmed. "The quantum defense grid can be activated within 6 hours. But we need to be certain. Once we show our hand, we won't get a second chance." Chen finished. "Alexandra, what did your team make of their cultural markers?" Hayes pulled up a series of complex diagrams. "They're part of something called the Galactic Consortium. Think of it as an interstellar marketplace where everything, including sentient species, has a price. They've classified us as a pre-FTL developing species. Their arrogance isn't just cultural, it's institutional. They genuinely believe we're primitive because we haven't achieved their specific technological markers." Chen's lip curled. "They never bothered to look deeper. Never questioned why our quantum signatures are so quiet." "Exactly," Hayes nodded. "They have no idea we've been developing in parallel but different directions. They measure progress by visible space travel and energy emissions. They never thought to look for the quantum computing networks we've buried in dark matter clouds, or the consciousness transfer technology we've kept off their sensors." A new alert flashed across their screens. The alien vessel was launching smaller craft, heading toward Earth's orbit. "They're making their move," Santos warned. "We need to decide now. Do we play along and reveal our true capabilities later, or do we show them immediately that humanity is not for sale?" Chen studied the approaching ships. They were beautiful, their crystalline structures refracting light in impossible ways. But she saw the weapons hidden in those elegant forms, energy projectors capable of reducing cities to ash. "We play along," she decided, "but we activate Prometheus quietly. Alexandra, you'll lead the diplomatic team. Make them think we're awed, frightened, desperate to prove our worth. Let them believe we're primitive enough to be sold. And when they try to take possession," Santos asked. Chen's smile was sharp as a blade. "That's when they'll learn that humanity has teeth. Long, sharp, quantum-encoded teeth." Hayes was already pulling up profiles on her screen. "I'm bringing in Dr. Marcus Wu. He's our best game theorist, and his work on alien psychology is unparalleled. We'll need his insight to make this deception perfect." "Approved," Chen nodded. "General, begin moving our quantum shielded ships into position. Hide them in the dark matter clouds we've been seeding for the past decade. Director Hayes, you have 48 hours to prepare your team for first contact. Make it convincing." As the alien ships drew closer, Chen reflected on the irony. Humanity had spent centuries looking to the stars, wondering if we were alone, hoping to find peaceful contact. Instead, we found a galaxy where everything had a price tag, including sentient beings. They think they're coming to buy Earth, she murmured to herself as the others signed off to begin preparations. Instead, they're about to learn that some things aren't for sale, and some prices are higher than they can imagine. The crystalline ships entered Earth orbit, their surfaces shimming with colors human eyes had never seen before. Behind them, hidden in carefully constructed quantum shadows, humanity's real fleet waited, and in the dark matter clouds scattered throughout the solar system, weapons that defied conventional physics stood ready. Let them come with their markets and their price tags. Humanity had prepared for this moment without even knowing it. We had built our defenses not through brute force, but through subtle manipulation of the quantum realm itself. The game was about to begin, and humanity was playing for keeps. Dr. Marcus Wu stood in the holographic chamber beneath Geneva, watching the alien representatives shimmer into existence. Their crystalline environmental suits made them look like walking diamonds, refracting light in ways that hurt his eyes. Behind him, Director Hayes and Admiral Chen waited in shadows, letting humanity's foremost expert in game theory take point. Esteemed representatives of the Galactic Consortium, Wu began, his voice carefully modulated to show just the right amount of awe and nervousness. We are honored by your presence. The tallest crystal figure stepped forward. Its voice emerged as a series of mathematical concepts that the quantum translators converted to speech. Species 3749b, designation human. We have reviewed your preliminary technological assessment. Your development shows promise, though your reliance on binary computing and chemical propulsion is quaint. Wu bowed slightly, hiding his smile. The aliens' arrogance was working perfectly in humanity's favor. While they focused on the primitive rockets and satellites we let them scan, they missed the quantum network running through the dark matter clouds of the solar system. We are eager to learn, Wu said, projecting earnest enthusiasm. Your technology is beyond our comprehension. These translators alone, the mathematical principles involved. Yes, another crystal figure interrupted. About those translators, our scans indicate they're far more sophisticated than your other technology. Explain. Hayes tensed in the shadows, but Wu had been prepared for this question. Reverse engineered, he said quickly. From a crashed probe we found in the Atacama Desert, we barely understand how they work. The aliens' crystalline forms shifted colors, their version of nodding. They had expected humans to stumble upon some advanced technology. Finding a crashed probe was a common enough occurrence in developing systems. Your species has been evaluated and categorized. The lead alien continued. Under consortium law, you qualify for protected development status. Your system will be purchased by one of our member races, who will guide your evolution toward galactic citizenship. Purchased. Wu allowed his voice to quaver. You mean Earth would belong to the highest bidder? Yes. Do not be alarmed. This is standard procedure. The winning race will have strict guidelines about interaction and development. You will be protected. In the shadows, Admiral Chen activated her neural link to the quantum network. Through the dark matter cloud around Mars, she could see the massive fleet the consortium had hidden there. Their real strength, waiting to enforce their purchase if Earth resisted. Wu spread his hands in a gesture of helplessness. We understand. But surely we should have some say in who purchases us. The crystal beings shifted colors again, amusement this time. You will be permitted to make a presentation at the auction, to highlight your species' potential value. Thank you. Wu bowed again. When will this auction be held? Standard consortium procedure allows 3 planetary rotations for preparation. We suggest you focus on your cultural achievements. Your technological offerings are insufficient to influence bidding. After the aliens shimmered away, Hayes stepped out of the shadows. Well played, Marcus. They suspect nothing. Wu's scholarly demeanor fell away, replaced by sharp intelligence. Their arrogance blinds them. They're so convinced of their superiority that they're not even conducting deep scans of the system. They don't want to waste energy. Perfect, Chen smiled. Because our real fleet is almost in position. The quantum shields are holding. Completely, Wu confirmed. As far as their sensors are concerned, there's nothing but normal dark matter out there. They haven't even noticed that we've modified its structure. Hayes brought up a holographic display of the solar system, showing the true positions of humanity's forces. Thousands of ships hidden in quantum shadows, weapons platforms disguised as asteroids, and the massive quantum computation network that gave humanity its true strength. The auction will be held in the Martian orbit, Hayes said. Every major power in the consortium will attend. It's our best chance to demonstrate exactly why humanity shouldn't be for sale. Have we identified all their species yet? Chen asked. Wu nodded, pulling up detailed analyses. 7 major powers. The crystalline beings are called the luminary. They handle most economic transactions. Then there's the Vorkath, the hegemony, the stellar assembly. Each one thinking they're going to get a bargain by buying a primitive species with potential. Their mistake, Chen said softly, was in thinking that potential is something you can put a price on. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to surprise those who underestimate us. Hayes studied the fleet movements. The quantum network is fully operational. Better than that, Wu grinned. We've already infiltrated their systems. They use quantum encryption too, but their methods are predictable. They never imagined someone would approach quantum mechanics from our direction. We can read every transmission, access every database. But we're letting them think their encryption is unbroken, Chen finished. So when we reveal ourselves, the shock will be complete, Wu confirmed. They think they're coming to an auction. Instead, they're walking into a demonstration of why humanity deserves to be treated as equals, or not treated with at all. Through the quantum network, Chen could feel the alien fleet's confidence, their certainty that this was just another routine acquisition of a primitive species. She could also feel humanity's hidden strength, waiting in the quantum shadows like a coiled spring. 3 days. 3 days to perfect their deception, to position their forces, to prepare for a revelation that would shake the galaxy's power structure to its core. The price of ascension would be paid, but not by humanity. The auction chamber aboard the Luminary flagship was a cathedral of crystalline geometry, designed to humble visitors with its impossible architecture. Representatives from 7 galactic powers sat in tiered rings, their varied forms contained within environmental fields that shimmered like soap bubbles. Alexandra Hayes stood on the presentation platform, her simple black uniform a stark contrast to the Baroque design surrounding her. Behind her, Marcus Wu and a small team of human scientists waited with carefully crafted expressions of nervous anticipation. Species 3749b will now present their cultural achievements, the luminary auctioneer announced, mathematical concepts flowing through the quantum translators. Hayes stepped forward. Esteemed members of the consortium, before we begin our cultural presentation, we have a question about the auction parameters. The crystalline auctioneer flickered with annoyance. Parameters are standard. Opening bid at 50 trillion credits, increasing in. Actually, Hayes interrupted, her voice perfectly calm. We were wondering about your fleet hidden behind Mars. The chamber erupted in mathematical discord as the aliens registered surprise. The luminary auctioneer's crystal form shifted to deep red. Our security measures are not subject to discussion. No, Hayes smiled. Then perhaps we should discuss the quantum encrypted transmissions you've been sending to that fleet. The ones detailing contingency plans if Earth resists its sale. Dead silence fell across the chamber. The Vorkath representative, a being of living plasma contained within an engineered star, flared brightly. Impossible. Their technology cannot detect. Cannot. Wu stepped forward, activating a holographic display. These are your fleet positions. These are your encryption protocols. And this, he paused for effect, is your command authorization structure. The hegemony delegate, a collective of silicon-based intelligences, rose from their tier. The humans are bluffing. Their quantum technology is primitive. They barely understand basic dark matter modification at coordinates 49 to 2713, Hayes announced clearly. Through the quantum network, Admiral Chen received the signal she'd been waiting for. Suddenly, a section of space near Mars shifted. Where there had been empty void, a fleet of sleek human vessels shimmered into existence. Not revealed, they had been there all along, hidden in ways the consortium's sensors couldn't detect. Impossible, the luminary auctioneer whispered, its crystalline form clouding with confusion. No, Hayes corrected. Simply unexpected. You see, while you were measuring our chemical rockets and binary computers, you failed to notice something rather important. Humans approach problems differently. Wu brought up another display, showing the dark matter clouds throughout the solar system. You use dark matter as a curiosity, a mathematical puzzle. We reshaping it, using it to hide our quantum network, our real fleet, our true capabilities. The stellar assembly representative, a gestalt of quantum-entangled consciousnesses, pulsed with alarm. The dark matter readings, you've been manipulating them for years. Decades, Hayes confirmed. Every time you scanned our system, you saw exactly what we wanted you to see. A primitive species just beginning to reach for the stars. You'd never thought to look deeper. This changes nothing, the luminary auctioneer declared, though its crystalline form trembled slightly. You are still bound by consortium law. The auction will proceed. Hayes's smile turned predatory. Will it? Check your quantum networks, all of them. One by one, the alien representatives fell silent as they realized their secure communications had been compromised. Not just compromised, completely infiltrated. Through their own quantum channels, they could see the true extent of human advancement. Ships hidden in dark matter shadows throughout the solar system, weapons platforms disguised as asteroids, and a quantum computation network that dwarfed their own. We are not for sale, Hayes stated simply. Earth is not for sale. Humanity is not for sale. We came to your auction not as merchandise, but to deliver a message. We are your equals. Treat us as such, or do not treat with us at all. You dare threaten the consortium? The Vorkath representative flared angrily. Threaten? Wu shook his head. No, we're offering a choice. Recognize Earth as a sovereign power, or, he gestured to the displays showing their compromised networks, find out exactly what happens when you underestimate humanity's potential. Through the quantum network, Admiral Chen watched the alien representatives process this revelation. She could see their ships adjusting positions, their weapons powering up, and then powering down as they realized the extent of human infiltration into their systems. The luminary auctioneer's form shifted through a rainbow of colors before settling on a deep blue. This is unprecedented. That, Hayes smiled, is humanity's specialty. The price of ascension had indeed been paid, not in credits or submission, but in the currency of revelation. Humanity had shown its hand, demonstrated its power, and changed the galaxy's balance in a single stroke. And this was only the beginning. In the aftermath of the failed auction, the Terran Diplomatic Center on Luna became the focal point of a new galactic reality. Through its quantum-reinforced halls, representatives of the former consortium powers moved like chastened giants, their previous arrogance replaced by wary respect. Admiral Chen watched from her command center as another delegation arrived, this time from the hegemony. The silicon-based collective had been the first to recognize the strategic advantage of alliance over confrontation. Their ship is carrying quantum shielding based on our designs, Wu noted, studying the readings. They've been busy. They all have, Chen replied. Amazing how quickly they adapted once they realized we weren't bluffing. Director Hayes, how are the negotiations proceeding? Hayes's hologram appeared beside them, her expression satisfied. Better than expected. The Ascendant Protocol is being ratified by each major power. Even the Vorkath have stopped posturing. The Ascendant Protocol, humanity's price for peace. Not subjugation, not revenge, but a complete restructuring of how the galaxy's powers interacted with developing civilizations. No more auctions, no more forced protection. The Luminary representative wants to discuss technology exchange, Wu reported, scanning through quantum-encrypted messages. Specifically, our dark matter manipulation techniques. Of course they do, Chen smiled. Send them our standard response. Hayes nodded. Knowledge has value. If they want to learn, they can teach in return. Through the quantum network, Chen monitored the positions of various alien fleets throughout the solar system. Where once they had hidden in ambush, now they maintained respectful distances, their weapons cold, their quantum signatures clear and visible. The Stellar Assembly has an interesting proposal, Hayes continued. They want to establish a joint research facility in the Kuiper Belt. Their quantum consciousness technology combined with our dark matter manipulation could open new frontiers. Approved, with monitoring, Chen decided. What about the outliers? Wu brought up a galactic map showing power distributions. 3 minor races are still protesting our disruption of natural order. They're being contained by their neighbors. No one wants to risk human intervention. And the Vorkath? Chen asked. Still sulking, but compliant. Their last attempt to probe our quantum defenses convinced them we weren't exaggerating our capabilities. The fact that we could redirect their own weapons through their supposedly secure network made quite an impression. Hayes' hologram shifted, showing her in a new meeting room. We're about to begin the Technology Exchange Council. The Luminary brought something interesting. Apparently, they found traces of similar quantum manipulation in other systems. We might not be as unique as we thought. More developing races hiding their true capabilities. Wu looked intrigued. Possibly. The galaxy might be more interesting than the consortium realized. Speaking of which, the transition from consortium to Galactic Council is proceeding smoothly. The new charter includes strong protections for developing civilizations. Chen studied the quantum feeds showing various alien reactions to the new order. Some were adapting eagerly, seeing opportunities in cooperation rather than domination. Others were more hesitant, centuries of ingrained superiority fighting against new evidence. The hegemony delegation is ready for their presentation, Wu announced. They've developed a hybrid technology combining their silicon-based computing with our quantum principles. Could be revolutionary. Humanity's greatest strength, Hayes mused, wasn't our technology or our deception. It was our ability to turn potential adversaries into partners once they recognized our worth. Through the quantum network, Chen could sense the shifts in the galaxy's power structure. The rigid hierarchies of the consortium were giving way to something more dynamic, more collaborative. Earth, once marked for sale like common property, was now a nexus of innovation and diplomacy. The price of ascension, she said softly, wasn't just proving our power. It was showing them a better way. Around Earth, the dark matter clouds shifted slightly, their quantum-modified structure reflecting the changes in the galaxy itself. Humanity had not just earned its place among the stars, it had transformed the very nature of galactic civilization. And somewhere out there, other races were watching, learning, and preparing for their own moment of revelation. The age of auctions and forced protection was over. A new era had begun. 1 year after the failed auction, Earth had become unrecognizable. Quantum-enhanced structures reached into the sky, their dark matter foundations manipulating gravity itself. In orbit, ships from a dozen alien races moved through carefully regulated lanes, their presence a testament to humanity's new role in galactic affairs. Sarah Chen, now Fleet Admiral of the newly formed Terran Defense Alliance, stood in her favorite observation dome on Luna, watching the streams of traffic flow between worlds. Next to her, Marcus Wu was reviewing reports on his quantum interface. Another one, he announced, a hint of amusement in his voice. The Proxima system. Their primitive civilization just revealed quantum manipulation capabilities that rival our own. How did the council react? Chen asked, though she already knew the answer. Better than the consortium would have. The Galactic Council's integration protocols are working smoothly. No panic, no threats, just diplomatic recognition and immediate technology exchange offers. Through her neural link, Chen accessed the quantum network's vast reach. She could feel the ripples of change spreading through the galaxy. The revelation of Earth's true capabilities had triggered a cascade effect, encouraging other hidden civilizations to step forward. Director Hayes is on her way back from the Centauri conference, Wu continued. The joint development protocols are exceeding expectations. Even the Vorkath are contributing meaningfully to the research initiatives. Chen smiled. The Vorkath, once among their most aggressive potential adversaries, had eventually recognized the advantages of cooperation. Their plasma-based technology, combined with human quantum principles, had already revolutionized energy production across multiple systems. "And our special project?" she asked. Wu's expression turned serious. The quantum archaeological team found exactly what we suspected. The dark matter manipulation techniques we developed. We weren't the first. There are traces of similar technology dating back millions of years. The precursors, Chen nodded. The consortium was so focused on their narrow definition of progress that they missed the real story of our galaxy. Through the quantum network, they accessed the latest findings. Ancient civilizations had risen and fallen, each developing along different technological paths. Some had mastered dark matter, others quantum mechanics, still others forms of technology not yet fully understood. The stellar assembly's gestalt consciousness has been particularly helpful in decoding the older remnants, Wu noted. Their quantum-entangled minds can perceive patterns we might have missed. And the Luminari, still adapting to their new role. Turns out they're excellent administrators when they're not trying to auction off entire species. The transition from consortium banking to Galactic Council oversight is almost complete. Chen watched as a massive hegemony vessel moved into orbit, its crystalline structure incorporating both silicon and quantum technologies. We've come so far in just 1 year. Sometimes I wonder if we revealed ourselves too soon. Wu finished her thought. No, Chen shook her head. If we waited too long. How many civilizations were sold into protection while we perfected our deception? How many species suffered under consortium rule while we built our strength? We can't change the past, Wu reminded her, but we're changing the future. The Ascendant Protocol ensures no developing civilization will face what we faced, and with more hidden species revealing themselves. The galaxy is transforming, Chen agreed, not through conquest or commerce, but through cooperation and mutual respect. A notification pulsed through the quantum network. Another civilization, this one in the Vega sector, had just revealed its true capabilities. Like Earth, they had developed in secret, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Shall we send a welcome delegation? Wu asked. Chen smiled. Better than that. Send them the complete records of our own revelation. Let them see how we transformed from merchandise to members of the Council. Let them understand that the price of ascension isn't paid in submission or credits, but in wisdom. Wu nodded. In the courage to stand up and say, we are here, we are your equals, and we will not be bought or sold. Outside the dome, Earth's quantum shield shimmered subtly, its dark matter-enhanced structure a testament to human ingenuity. But it was no longer a shield to hide behind. Now it was a beacon, showing other hidden civilizations that they too could step into the light. The price of ascension had been paid not just by humanity, but by the galaxy itself. The old order of dominance and commerce had given way to something new, something better. And somewhere out there, in the vast reaches of space, other civilizations were watching, learning, and preparing for their own moment of transformation. The future was no longer for sale. It was being built, one revelation at a time, by those who dared to challenge the established order and demand recognition not as property, but as equals. And that, perhaps, was humanity's greatest achievement of all.